What is this China white thing we hear all the time now? It seems that cocaine is still around, but heroin is making a pretty big comeback.
Exactly. China white. I used to work China white down when I was in San Francisco, and that was at the time period. I'm talking about 1992 and so forth. And people, the U.S. government was saying, there's no such thing as China white, and I was buying China white left and right in an undercover capacity. So it's very powerful, very strong, and it's coming from China and so forth. So I mean, the drug was there. That's what I mean. That we have more drugs today. Going back to from acid to black tar, China white, you name it, it's all back.
What really amazes me, John Carmen has been on the program. You know John?
Yes.
Former customs agent.
Right, John Carmen. Yes.
Amazing story. It's in the archives, folks. If you want to hear something, it'll just turn your head another 360. He told me that the trucks now coming across the Mexican border, the containers coming through the harbors and ports in this country, are being checked to the tune of maybe 1 or 2 out of 100 containers, maybe 3 or 4 out of 100 trucks. And the drug lords know this, and so they'll run 10, 20 trucks through at a time, knowing that maybe 1 or 2 might get checked, and the other 19 or 20 are going to go through.
Exactly. You take a loss, and you're going to take a loss. But
business.
In the meantime, you bring in 10, and 2 go get taken down. So it's no big loss.
We know certainly the communist Chinese are right now assaulting America on numerous fronts, not just the computer cyber war that they're talking about. They're bringing stuff in here, folks. Everything from China white to AK-47s in these containers, whether they come via Costco or other, it doesn't matter. They're coming through the ports of entry here. And I don't see any way, Cele, to stop it. You got people working at the ports. Everybody's got a price, like you said. They got mortgages. If they want to stay out of trouble, they look the other way on X shipment of cargo containers. And it's a joke. It's a joke. After listening to John Carmen, after listening to you, Mike Rupert, and other people, I don't see how it's possible to remedy the situation. I think it's not fixable.
Well,
given the current paradigm and the way we're doing business.
The only thing I feel that might help us is the so-called war on drugs in Colombia. When we started seeing our cousins and brothers and sisters getting killed over there for this phony drug war,
Vietnam,
people are going to uprise. And in bottom line, I think that the real battles will be at the university level campuses.
Same thing as
what happened in Kent State, UCLA, Berkeley.
That's what you
people
think
will demonstrate, and they're going to have this big demonstration, and a lot of people are going to get killed, both domestic and foreign.
Yeah, you know what I think? Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I think we're not going to win this war until and unless those 1 out of 4 people in the extended families stop doing drugs. I think that the demand is the only way we're going to kill it. We've got to somehow shut down the demand.
Yeah, the demand. It's just like there was a big survey by Fox News the other day. Who is to blame, Central America or South America, for the drugs coming in, or the United States? 96% said the United States was to blame because of the demand.
Really?
Absolutely. I have that on tape.
Oh, amazing. Americans are not asleep as we think they are sometimes.
No, they're not asleep, but, the big demand is there.
Well, as long as the demand's there, folks, there's no way to win the war on drugs. Is that fair, Cele?
Basically, yes.
Yeah, all right. Colombia. Let's tell people what the difference between Colombia and Peru is in terms of the whole drug business. Well,
in Peru, for example, was the biggest exporter on what was known as cocaine paste.
Right.
And then it goes to the labs in Colombia where it's made into hydrochloride, which is the cocaine, pure cocaine, and then it's shipped to the U.S. from Colombia. And now, basically what's happening is Colombia itself now is producing all the coca plantations, the cultivation of the coca leaf. So they're basically doing everything themselves up there now. But Peru and Bolivia were big exporters of the coca paste.
Well, I see.
And that's what the difference is. And bottom line is just like in any major product, the guy who actually grows it gets a very, very small percent of whatever the value of the cocaine paste or cocaine kilos of cocaine, the hydrochloride.
Funny how the rules of business apply no matter what you're doing.
Exactly.
Now they're spraying down there, as you know,
Right.
herbicides, pesticides, and things that are just really awful for the environment. Are they actually going to? Does somebody actually think they're going to be able to spray enough of the countryside to damage the output of coca paste?
Well, bottom line is I don't think they're spraying the coca fields.
What are they spraying?
They're spraying the corn and everything else that grows around that area, because they're going to have to force the gorillas to come out of the area. And if you don't have food, then you got to come out.
Well,
and bottom line is, it's got nothing to do with the war down there, with the Civil War. It has nothing to do with that, because, we had it in El Salvador, we had it in Guatemala, and you got to understand, we have one of the best intelligence networks in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could have stopped that war in El Salvador maybe the first 2 years, and it took them 10 years to do that. Why? Because war makes money.
Sure.
And, they built and so forth. Every 10 years, we got to have a war. Every 10 years. And it's just, you can see it.
We're overdue for a biggie.
Exactly. We did the Gulf War 10 years ago, and now we're doing this so-called war on drugs.
Now, it's been 56 years since World War II, so we will see what happens. When you're up in those airplanes down there, flying around, and we've got men and women down there now, we're losing Americans too, aren't we?
Absolutely. We lost a surveillance plane down there where some military, both males and females, were killed.
That wasn't too long ago. I remember
Not too long ago.
Were they being taken down by shoulder-fired surface-to-air missiles?
No, but I tell you what, this is going to be a completely different war, because, it's all going to be computerized. Everything is, they got cell phones, they got laptops, they got access to cloning the cell phones, so they know when the government is coming. Plus, they have those surface-to-air missiles, and a lot of those choppers are going to be shot down.
That's what I thought.
A lot of casualties, and that's why Corps and all the other ones are going to be in trouble, and that's why they're hiring those mercenaries to go out there and do the dirty work. And a lot of them are drug addicts and alcoholics. They're all guys that have nothing else to do but
go down and kill people.
Cold War. Yeah, make money.
Yeah, make money and kill people.
Exactly. All you got to do is read that Soldier of Fortune magazine, and you get a lot of intelligence out of that. It's amazing how they...
They read the classified ads in that thing. If you
oh,
want to
my
see
God,
something.
yes. Oh,
true.
absolutely.